Hi, thanks for clicking through. Trevor Bragg here from Phoenix Software. And today we're talking about why almost half of real estate agents don't use the Office CRM. There was a 2016 REB poll that I found, and I believe that we would probably get the same results if we did a poll today. But basically, what it was saying was that 20% of respondents, that's real estate agents, don't use a CRM system. And then there are an additional 27% of people that use very few of the current system's features. So, quite telling that almost half of people are not using the Office CRM in a real estate office. And that's quite concerning. And it should be for agency principals that are spending a lot of money on their CRMs. So, what I thought I'd do is just go through some of the reasons why agents are not using the Office CRM, and we'll delve into these a little bit more quickly. So, one is the system is hard to use. So, a lot of the major CRM solutions have been on the market. Some have been on the market for decades, and unfortunately, they haven't really moved with the times. There's new innovations, new design features, and things like that that haven't been implemented into their systems. And what they've tended to do is add feature upon feature, and this just makes the CRM overly complex and very hard to navigate. So if it becomes hard to navigate, then people won't use it. And if it's hard to use and the agents they'll just put in the bare minimum that they need to, or just not use it at all. And then what they end up doing is reverting back to their Excel spreadsheets. And I know this because when we onboard some agents, they give us their spreadsheets that they've been keeping and collating data for years. So, that's one of the big reasons why people don't use a CRM. It's very hard to use. Also, a failed onboarding. So, what was the CRM set up like in the first place when you brought on this CRM? Was it set up correctly? Were you able to migrate all the old data across, bring it across so it was nice and clean and able to be used in the new system? Were the fields carried across? Were the groupings carried across? Meaning that your agents could go and access their data like they did in the previous system. And was the agent given, the appropriate permissions to access areas within the CRM, or are they locked out of those areas, or are there things that they can't do? So all these things go into the onboarding process, and these are things that you really need to work on prior to taking on the CRM. The other reason why people don't use the CRM is a lack of training. So unfortunately, they either weren't trained right at the beginning, or they've joined the office and they weren't given adequate training on the CRM. And I think it would be worthwhile if the office did have continual training on the CRM. So even once a month, you delve into an area or you uncover areas where training is required and you work through those things. Does the supplier offer CRM training? And a lot might do for a charge, but some might do it complimentary as well, just to make sure you're getting the most out of the system. Does the supplier offer video tutorials or any supporting resources to help the agents with the training on the CRM? And even after all that training, are you still finding that the CRM is still too hard to use? And if it is, then maybe you need to start to look at other options. Another reason why people don't use the Office CRM is probably from the beginning, there was no organizational buy-in. So what I like to do when I first start talking to an agency or an agent, we try and find out what are the really important parts of the CRM that they're using in their business. And we also like to discuss it with all the departments as well, because what the sales team does could be totally different to what the property management team does, and they each have their certain needs. Were they all consulted in that period as well? Were they able to give their feedback and buy-in? If they weren't, and it was a decision made by one or two people in the office and they weren't consulted, there was a very good chance that this onboarding of the CRM was not going to be successful. So there's some of the reasons why this might be the case. So how do we fix these? I think the first thing to do is to retrain your staff where you can. either internal training or go back to your supplier, ask them for training. If they are looking to charge you for that training and you're happy to pay, that's great. If not, then you might want to suggest that you are looking around and, if they want to retain your business, it might be worthwhile providing some complimentary training. And I know for us, we would like to keep a customer. So if it means more training, then yeah, that's something that you're happy to do. Most won't charge you extra if you are looking around. Try and identify any lacking features within the CRM, especially if your CRM's been in place a long time. There could be some new innovations, new technologies, things like automation that your team needs to make them successful in today's real estate market. And if those features are lacking and if there's no training, then maybe it's time to go and research and replace that system. So sometimes these things just come to an end and you need to move on. So if that's the case, then you do want to consider a new CRM, then we'd love to share with you what we're doing at Phoenix Software. So if this is of interest to you and you've reached probably the end of your time with your current CRM provider, feel free to drop me a message either via our website, email, call me on my phone, but love to have a chat to you about it. Okay, talk soon. Thank you. Bye.